Hello, welcome back to Solo Adventures. My name is Livi. Did you miss me? I know I've been gone for a couple of days, but it's not because I've been slacking off. I've actually been extremely hard at work making my next batch of print and play games. I think I made 12 over the course of just 2 or 3 days, and I have been working almost non-stop from morning until night to get these done. So there might be another gap or two in the future, as I do need to take a little bit of time to build the games and wait for the glue to dry and blah blah blah. But I do expect that I'm going to be keeping up with an upload schedule that will allow me to review all of these games before the end of voting. Of course, as I was planning the next round of games I was going to create, I needed to figure out how much of everything I needed. How much cardstock, how many laminating pouches, how many meeples, counters, and of course how much printer ink is this going to take. I also have to factor into this. And after doing some math, I have come to the conclusion that print and play is only an inexpensive hobby if you only make a few builds. I will confess that this project has become a little bit expensive on my part. Which is totally okay, because I think that this is a cause that is worth supporting. But if you would like to help me reach my goal of reviewing each and every game and being able to play them in all of their full color glory, I would be so humbled and grateful if you would check out my Patreon and consider supporting me there. I don't have a whole lot of rewards specifically set up yet, but that is because my current Patreon count is 0. So once I get one or two, you can definitely count on me to supply you with wonderful behind the scenes updates. And also, if you become one of my patrons, you'll be able to vote on what videos I create next. Because I am having a blast making these videos, and though I'm not going to be able to make them quite so often once the contest is over, I still definitely want to be creating them. So without any further ado, let's talk about our game today. So today we're taking a look at Terajoules, which is a game that was designed by Amos Kendall and Kevin Plays Games. So Terajoules is a large, sprawling board game where you attempt to build a city and keep it powered, all while attempting to keep the process as green as possible, because as we know, burning oil and coal and things like that are not so good for the environment and can lead to catastrophic climate change that can irreparably affect all of our lives. As always, if you don't actually want to watch me play Terajoules and you just want to hear my final thoughts, then feel free to skip to the end. So how is Terajoules? What did I think about it? Let's go take a look at it. Okay, so this is my 4th time attempting to film this. My terrible ancient smartphone keeps locking up on me and losing my data, so I apologize in advance if I forget to explain something, because I can't remember sometimes what I've explained since I've gone through this so many times, but we're going to try our best. So, here we are set up for a game of Terajoules. So what we need to do is put all of our districts in their correct stacks, with 4 earthquake tokens next to the oil refineries. We mix up one of each district, that is residential, oil refinery, coal mine, and commercial district. We mix them up. And then we lay them out in this bottom row. This is our starting city. So the object of this game is to build the entire city, so build a district in each of these squares and also power them all. And to do that, we're going to need to use natural resources like coal, oil, nuclear, water, solar power, to generate the energy that we need to power our city. But we also need to keep an eye on what our actions do in terms of their impact on the climate. So using not so eco-friendly things like coal and oil are going to increase the hole in the ozone layer, which will increase the temperature, which will make the water levels rise, which will increase our risk of flooding, and a lot of other just generally bad things that can happen. So when we get set up, we have 11 neutral tokens in our disaster cup and 1 earthquake. So we draw from this at the end of the year to determine if a disaster has struck. We set all of our trackers back where the dots are. As you can see, I placed my trackers 1 spot above actually where the tracker is because my trackers are just too big and chunky for this board, and it makes it easier for me to see. But yeah, it's on space 1. And then we shuffle up. Okay. So 1 year consists of getting through our entire deck of cards, and that consists of doing multiple rounds. So in each round we draw 4 cards, and we discard 1, and then we can spend the rest of these to generate energy. So I have oil and I have coal. I'm going to spend 1 of my oil. And you can see the exchange rate for oil is 2 terajoules of energy. So I spend my oil, I get my energy, but I also increase the pollution. And I think I'm going to spend another oil. So spend the oil, get the energy, but the pollution increases. So that means that I have to move the hole in the ozone layer to the right because it's getting bigger. And we see here there's a little temperature sign. That means that the temperature of my city is increasing. So the temperature is rising. Next time it increases, we'll have to put in 1 of these wildfire tokens. So that means that we'll start to have a risk of having fires break out. So, our battery is full, and that's okay. It can just be full and we don't have to worry about it. But once we start having excess energy, then we have to start sending things through the power grid. So we take our second turn. I'll discard this coal, and I will spend oil again to get 2 energy. And that just goes back at square 1 after it reaches this spot. And yeah, I spent that, I think. And I think I will also spend a coal. Not very efficient, but there we do that. So now it's the end of the year, but it's also the end of the turn, and we have excess energy. So every time we send energy through the power grid, we're going to lose 1 terajoule to basic general inefficiency. So we lose 1, but we power the rest of the city. And we even have 2 energy left over for next year. So now that it's the end of the year, we can look over at our end of the year procedure track. So step 1 is draw a marble from the disaster bag, or in this case, a chip from the disaster cup. And we're doing okay. Then we check to see if we have all 15 districts full and if they're powered, because if we did, then we'd win, but we don't. Check the calendar. If it's full, we lose. Dilapidate the unpowered neighborhoods. So if we weren't able to power one of these, that means that they fall into disrepair and we would have to rotate them, and we would have to spend energy on them to get them working again before they generate more resources for us. But we're fine. Now we earn our rewards. So this generates 1 oil, 1 coal, 1 money, 1 labor. And now we can spend. So I think that I want to have more money, So I'm going to spend 1 labor and 1 money to build a district. And I'm going to build a commercial district. And put it there. So that's the end of the year. We lost this energy. We would lose any unused technology or labor because technology becomes outmoded and the workers move on, but we don't have any, so it's okay. And we begin the next year. So we shuffle up and we go again. Discard the coal, and I will buy oil. Just discard these. We don't have any oil, but we do have coal. So as we can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 districts. That means that we're going to need 6 power to power the whole city. So I'm going to have to spend 2 coal. So 1 coal, 1 energy, 1 pollution, increase the whole, 2nd coal, another energy, increase pollution, and that's that. So here we are at the end of the year again. Oh, I forgot, when we get set up, we need to set up our projects. So this wouldn't really matter until now, or even maybe a little later anyway. But first we take these white cards, and we shuffle them up, and we put them randomly here. And these are projects that we're going to be able to build later on that'll help us reverse some of the damage that we've done to the environment. And the last card goes back to the box. Same thing goes with these colored projects. You just mix them up. Pardon my washing machine. There's one project, and there's another project. So we'll be able to use technology and labor to research these later potentially. We don't need to worry about that now though. So now it's time to power the city. So we lose 1, and we go power, 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 and that's the end of the year. So we draw neutral, no disaster, we're okay. Power, calendar, dilapidate, nope, rewards. Money, money. Labor, oil, coal. And we lost that. So I'm going to, so this little lock here means that this area is zoned, so that means that I have to build another residential area here. Likewise, whatever I build here, I have to build another one here. If I do build here, however, that means that my power grid is becoming even less efficient. Then I need to lose 2 energy every time I send it through the generator. But we don't need to build it there yet. We just need to build on top of existing squares, and we just have to, so for example, next time I could build here, 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 or here. And I do want to build. Maybe I want science. Then again, maybe we want more oil. Well, okay, I'm going to build science. So 1 labor and 1 money to build a science park here. So this also has to be a science park. And then I have 1 money left over. So I'm going to spend this to buy another card. And I'm going to buy hydropower. So this is clean energy that I can use that does not damage the environment. So when I have the water card come up, that means that I can spend 2 units of water to get 1 terajoule of energy. So that's pretty nice. What else I could do is I could have spent 1 money to put some resources away for disaster relief. So when a disaster strikes, we'll be able to roll the die, and depending on how much we've invested, it will decrease our chance of actually having a disaster. So that's good to have if you can afford it. And my cards are all wonky. Here we go. So we spent our goods, we lose unused labor technology, reset the water level, shuffle the cards, and we begin the next year. 1, 2, 3, 4. All coal. Well, I can discard this coal, and I'll spend 1 coal. And that's that. I don't want to do any more. Discard the coal, and now we are going to do an oil. Increase the pollution, increase the hole in the ozone layer, which increases the temperature, which gives us risk of wildfire. So that goes in the cup. I don't have any more oil, but I will spend coal. Now my battery's full. And it's the end of the year, so I should have spent that coal earlier. Let's power our city. So we still lose 1 for inefficiency. And I want money. Ooh, this is tricky. Do I want oil? Do I want science? About 2 money and 1 science, so we can increase the efficiency of our energy generators. It's the end of the year. We draw a marble. No disaster, thankfully, this year. Check the power. Check the calendar. Dilapidate. Okay, we have to dilapidate. So we change the oil refinery to inactive, the coal mine to inactive. So these are now run down and will not generate resources until we fix them. Oh, this too. After the dilapidation, then we go into rewards. So we get 2 money and 1 science. Okay, so how are we going to spend this? I'm going to spend 1 money and 1 science to upgrade my hydropower. So as you can see here, 2 units of water will create 2 units of energy. And I have 1 money left over. I think I want to invest in more clean energy. I think nuclear power is going to be the most efficient for me at this point though, so I will buy that. And reset the water level and start again. So, shuffle up. Okay. So, I'm going to, I don't have oil, so I'll discard that. Nuclear energy. So we can increase the nuclear track by 1. And that gives us 3 terajoules. Don't have oil. And I will spend a coal. discard a coal, and here we see we have 2 units of water, so that creates 2 units of energy. And in order to power the entire city, we have to have 7 units of energy here. So I think I am going to spend another coal, which increases our energy, but also increases our pollution. And I'm going to have to send out the power this turn. Okay. And now that we've bought so many cards, we can actually play all of the cards that are in our deck. Get rid of the oil. Spend a coal. And spend a coal. Okay. So it's the end of the year again. Draw a chip. Ooh, this is a disaster. So this orange chip means that we have a wildfire. And we can see here that that means that we have to increase the temperature, which we do, which increases the water level. So now we have a maximum of 3 water. And we also have to dilapidate a powered building. So I'm going to dilapidate science. Now that that's done, check the power, check the calendar, dilapidate unpowered neighborhoods, earn rewards. So here we have money and money. And that's that. So we have 2 money and that's it. I think I want to invest in more clean energy. So let's get a solar power and a wind power. And then we can undilapidate the neighborhoods that we powered here. And next round they'll be good to go again. Shuffle up. I don't have any coal or any oil, so let's see how this goes. All right, so the only thing that we can spend here is the solar energy. And the way that solar energy works is every time I spend the card, I can put 1 unit of solar energy here in the battery. And when I have 2, that means I can get 1 terajoule. So in this case, I have only 1 card, so I'm going to have to wait until next turn, potentially. Discard the coal. Here we have wind power. So what happens is we roll this die, and if we get 3 or higher, we get a terajoule. We got 2, so that's terrible. Nope. Okay, here we go. Hydropower. Perfect. So we have 3 units of water, but we can only spend 2. Now we have 2 terajoules. Don't have any coal. I will spend the nuclear, however. So we increase that, but now our marker is at this little green dot. That means we increase the risk of a nuclear explosion. So that goes in, but we get 3 energy for that. And it's the end of the turn, so we'll go like that. And I can actually power everything this turn, so that's good. All right, end of the year. Whew, no disaster. That's pretty good. Check the power, check the calendar, dilapidate. Nope. Rewards. So 1 oil, 1 coal, money. We'll fix this one. Money and labor. So we have 2 money and 1 labor. Well, we're gonna have to build another residential area here, so I guess we might as well do that. Yes, let's do that. So 1 money and 1 labor builds us another residential area. We'll have more workers. And now I have 1 money left, so I could save this for next year, but I can see that I definitely need some help generating energy. So I think I'm going to take another solar card. And that's the end of that year. We reset the water levels, get rid of any of our unspent technology or labor. We begin again. So, shuffle up. Okay. Discard the coal. And let's generate nuclear power. I'm just going to discard the rest of his hand. Get rid of the coal. Let's spend the air, or the wind. Roll the 1, that is not lucky. I think that's that. Ooh. No, okay, I'm going to spend my oil. Increase pollution, increase the hole in the ozone, increases the temperature, increases chance of fire. And I will just discard this coal. I'll spend the coal. Okay, here we go. Just trying to power everything all at once if I can. And we lost this one. Let's try again. We only get 1 more turn in this year. Don't have coal. We do, however, have water, so we get 2 energy for that. And 1 solar energy, which means 1 terajoule. That's the end of the year. This is not very efficient, but I really don't want to lose any of my buildings this year, so I'm just going to lose 1 and power these 2. End of the year procedure. Wow, okay, still no disaster, so we're doing pretty good. Check the power and the calendar and do the dilapidating and earn rewards. So money, coal, oil, labor, science. So we have some resources to spend this time. I think I want to build more buildings, but I also want to research more efficient power. So I think I'm going to research wind power. So that's 1 science and 1 money. Oh wait, no, 1 science and 1 labor. And now we increase. We've been unlucky so far, but hopefully we can get lucky soon. Now if we roll a 3 or higher, we get 2 energy. Now we have a labor and a money, or 1 labor, 2 money. We're gonna have to build the whole city at some point anyway, so I think... but maybe I don't want to do that. Let me see. Okay, I think we want more money. And then I'll spend this last money on more wind power. Okay. Activate. Spend goods. Reset the water. And begin the next year. Just shuffle up. Okay, so let's begin again. Discard the coal. But I have 2 solar energy. 1, 2. And now I will spend my oil. Increase the pollution, however. Discard coal. Let's try for wind. 4, so that's good. We have 2 energy from that. Oh, let's make the most of this sending the energy through. So I will spend my last coal. Increases pollution. And we send it through. Don't have any coal or any oil, so that's a bust. I'll discard coal. Try my luck at wind. 4, very nice, we're getting lucky. Spend our water. And I'm not going to risk the nuclear, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So send it through. Voila. All right, let's hope that our good luck stays with us. Ooh, wildfire. So, which one of these do we want to destroy? Or dilapidate, rather? Let's... I'll dilapidate a residential area. And we also have to increase the temperature, which increases the water level. So now we have a maximum of 4. And still don't have any added risk of flood yet though, so that's lucky. Okay, so that's the disaster. Power, calendar, dilapidate, earn rewards. Money, science, oil, coal, labor. So, we're going to have to start getting into the more difficult construction. So now would be a good time to build here because we don't have any energy in the battery. So let's just spend 1 labor and 1 money to build here. But what do we want to build? Let's build an oil refinery. Not very eco-friendly, but I think I need the help. So, 1 more risk of earthquakes. But I'll put that there. Then I have a science and a money. Let's increase the efficiency of oil. So, now... Ooh, wait, no, because I would need 2 oil to get energy now. That's not good. Oh, let's increase... How about solar energy? So now 2 solar is 2 energy. Now we just have to, wait a little bit, but we will have our sun power. Oh, there was another money here. We spent that. Let's buy 1 more solar energy. Okay. Reset the water. Shuffle up. It's the beginning of the year again. Now we only have 5 turns left to finally finish building our city. We really need to get building. Okay. Discard the coal, and now we get 2 solar energy. So that means 2 terajoules. 1 hydro. 2 of these equals 2 of these. Discard the coal. Let's try for wind power. Oh. 3. That's good. Try again. Not lucky. And let's do nuclear. So that increases the nuclear threat level, that increases the chance of a nuclear explosion, but we do get an additional 3 terajoules. So we have so much energy to work with now. Let's see if I can get everything powered in one go. Oh, not quite. I'll discard the coal. I'll spend my oil. Discard these. Don't have any oil. I guess I can spend coal. And I'm going to send the energy through again. So we lose 1, but we get to power this one. End of the year. Let's see what happens. Whew. Still okay. Still no disaster. I can feel it. It's coming though. Check the power and the calendar. Dilapidate. Rewards. So we get money, oil, science, money, coal, oil, labor, money, and we'll be able to undilapidate this. So, what do we do? So this would cost 2 science and 1 labor to buy, but that would mean that every unit of sun equals 1 unit of energy. That would make this pay out even faster. But I don't know if it would make that much of a difference. So I'm going to pay 1 science and 1 money. Or wait, no, 1 science and 1 labor. Oh no, but we have to, oh, okay. No, we're gonna have to build. 2 money and 1 labor is going to go to build more residential. And I'm going to use 1 science and 1 money to increase our nuclear efficiency. So now every time we move the track up, we at least get 4 terajoules. So we get everything reset, the water level, get everything ready for the new year. And shuffle up. Okay, get rid of the coal, spend the water. I should really invest in another hydro. Wind. 4. Coal. I'm not gonna do it, but I do have to send everything through now. And we lose 1. Nuclear. So I'm going to spend that, and that gives us 4 terajoules. But I will have to move this up 1, and that puts us at another risk of nuclear disaster. I'm going to spend my oil, increase the pollution, increases the temperature, increases the risk of fire, but I get 2 more energy. And that's that. Still didn't manage to power everything. Okay, so we have 2 solar, so that gives us 2 energy. We'll discard the coal. And I'm not going to play this. So we'll discard the coal, get 1 solar, try for the wind, rolled a 2, so that's, nope. I'll spend the coal. All right, end of the year. Oh, wait, I'm going to power my building. So we spend 1 there, and there we go. And this is wasted. So it's the end of the year, and I have a strong, bad feeling about this. But we're okay. We are okay. No disaster there. We're somehow defying the odds. So after we do the marble, then we check the power, check the calendar, dilapidate. Thankfully, we don't need to. Let's get our rewards. So we get labor, money, oil, coal, money, labor, science, oil, money, labor. So we're definitely going to have to build, and we're going to have to build quickly if we have any hope of winning. So I'm going to try to build here. I'm going to spend 2 labor and 1 money, and I am going to build let's make this another residential district. And then I'm going to build again. Well, I have to build a science park here. So 1 labor, 1 money. And here's the science park. But now our generator is less efficient. And now we have 1 money and 1 science. Let's increase the efficiency of our oil. All right, so we reset the water and shuffle up and start the year again. Okay. Oh, I drew 5 that time. Okay. Discard the coal. We'll try for the air, for the wind. 3, so we get 2. Ooh. I'm not going to do nuclear and I'm not going to do coal. Solar. That gives us another one here, so that gives us 2 here. I'm going to spend an oil, so I can spend 2 units of oil and get 5 terajoules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Increase the pollution. And I won't spend the coal. But here we will send out our energy. Discard the coal. 2 solar equals 2 energy. We lost these. I'm not spending the coal. Water. And wind. 3. I really don't want to increase the hole in the ozone layer again, because that will raise the temperature again, which will give us more risk of wildfire pretty soon. So I'm not going to do that. Do I have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I can just barely do this. So let's send out the power. End of the year. Come on. Oh, earthquake. So we lose one of our oil refineries, and I'm going to make it this one. All right. Check the power and the calendar, dilapidate, earn rewards. So labor, oil, science, money, coal, money, labor, money, labor. Okay, so I have 4 labor and 3 money. I will almost be able to build everything I need to here. So I think I'm going to build another, let's build, we're gonna have to build here eventually, so I might as well make it my commercial district. So 1 money and 1 labor. Commercial district. Now we are running at maximum inefficiency. And science. Let's research this special project. So that will take 2 science and 1 labor. And now this means that every solar cube we get 1 terajoule. And I'm going to take labor and money and build an oil refinery. And labor and money and build another commercial district because we have to build one there. So, all right, let's see if we can do this. Shuffle up. Okay, discard the coal, water, I forgot to reset that, so here we go. Gonna spend my oil. So 2 units of oil gives me 5 terajoules. But it increases the pollution, which is increasing the hole in the ozone layer, which increases the temperature, which increases the water level. So now we have a maximum of 5. And now we have a risk of a flood. And I'm not spending coal. Oh, I forgot I have to spend this. So 1, 2, 3. Ouch, that really hurts. I will discard the oil. Try for wind. 2, nope. Solar. Get 1. So close. I don't want any disasters. I only have to build 1 more. Gonna pass on the nuclear. Get rid of the coal. Rolled badly. Discard these. All right, last try. Okay, discard the coal and we get 2 energy for this at least, and it would make 0 sense to send the energy through because I would lose all of it. So, yay. Okay, end of the year. Please be yellow. Yes, it's yellow. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're gonna have to finish by the end of next year. So we check the power. Nope. And the calendar. Dilapidate the unpowered neighborhoods. That's a lot of them. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's get our rewards. So money, money, labor, labor. So we know what we're going to spend this on. We're definitely going to spend money and labor to build one final thing here. And we need power. We need lots of it. So I'm going to build an oil refinery, which gives us a chance of a disaster, but we're going to cross our fingers that none of this is going to come back to bite us. One money, one labor. I'm going to spend my money on more hydro. And I lose the labor. But that's okay. We reset the water. It's the beginning of the year. And we shuffle up, and now it's down to the wire. Are we going to make it? Okay. So I'll discard the coal. We get the water and the solar. And I don't have enough oil. That wasn't very smart. I don't have 2 units of oil, so I can't get 2 terajoules. And we need to send out the power because my battery's full. Oh, not good. Oh, not good. And get rid of the oil, spend the water. And I'll spend the coal. Can't do the oil. Discard the nuclear. Come on, wind. 4. Fantastic. And 2 solar. Send it through again. Okay. Last turn. Oh, it is all coal. Okay, so I have to discard 1, but I could only buy 1 coal and get 1 terajoule. And that is that. So we have lost. If we're going to follow the procedure strictly, then at the end of the year we draw a marble from the bag. And amazingly, we would have not had a disaster. But then we would check to see if we won. We did not. We would check the calendar. It is full, and we do not have 15 powered neighborhoods. So I was feeling pretty good about that for a while. But no victory for me today. So, what do I think about Terajoules? Let's talk about it. So that was Terajoules. What are my thoughts on this game? Well, as usual, I'm going to start with the build. So first things first, I believe that Terajoules is the largest, most sprawling, space-consuming game that has been entered in the contest so far. Now this might change because the deadline hasn't been reached yet, but I think that this is probably going to be the biggest one. It is a massive board that is made with 6 sheets of paper. It's got a ton of cards, a ton of trackers, counters, movers, tiles. It's got everything. So this is going to be a big build. It took me quite a while to get this thing assembled. It's very impressive when it's on the table, but I have to say that the way that the board files are laid out make things a little bit difficult. Now, if all you want to do is to kind of do the bare minimum and just print out the paper and kind of lay it over the top of each other, overlapping and trimming off the white edges and like taping it down, that's okay. If you want to make a more durable, long-lasting game board, then you're going to have a bit more difficulty because the files aren't really made for that, so you're going to have to kind of cut them in my case, I kind of ended up with sort of irregular shapes because I didn't really have the time to slow down and measure. It's also going to require some kind of specific tokens and counters. In my case, I didn't have enough cubes to use on all of the trackers, and this wasn't ideal because my colored chips were a little bit large and they felt kind of awkward when I was putting them on the different disaster tracks. They didn't quite fit because the spaces on the trackers were a bit too small. Even my 1 centimeter cubes were too large to comfortably indicate where I was at on the various trackers. So if you're going to build this game and you want the best experience, you're really going to need to have like standard Euro cube sizes. And I don't have any of those. I just have my own hand-painted wooden ones that are just 1 centimeter wooden cubes that I get from the craft store. You're gonna need a lot of colored tokens or tiles for the disaster bag, so you're gonna need either, what was suggested is flat marbles, so like Mancala stones, which I think would be easily the best if you could get your hand on that many, and in that many different colors. I use these transparent plastic colored chips because that's what I had. They're cheap and I have a lot of them and they're all in several colors, so that's what I had, that's what I used. Something that I really like is that the theme is a little bit different. Now, I wouldn't say that it's particularly novel or inventive to make a game about building a city or even powering it, but the way by which you have to power it and the amount of environmental impacts that you need to take into consideration is definitely unusual. I have never seen another game where you're tracking the size of the hole in the ozone layer, so that's cool. Also very relevant to our modern day. I guess we are trying to put ourselves into a position where we're trying to build big things and make a lot of money, but the energy sources we have are not super great, so we have to decide if we're going to invest in the short term and just use very non-eco-friendly material and get our resources in the short term, or if we're going to try to build up our engine and build up our more sustainable energy for the future. So in terms of the terajoules themselves, you're going to want cubes, no matter what. I think that it's going to be extremely difficult to play this game unless you have cubes for your terajoules, because the little slots that you have to put them on are extremely small. The space in your generator type area, the space in your battery, they were all very clearly made for cubes. So while I think you can get away with different kinds of counters and markers for the other things, if you don't have cubes for your terajoules, I think it's going to be kind of awkward and inelegant. Not gonna say it's impossible, but it's clearly not made for anything but cubes. So I really liked this game. I had a lot of fun with it. It took me a while to learn it just because there's so much stuff going on, but I found the process extremely satisfying and fun once I got into it. The years have kind of this wonderful natural sort of flow, and there's a big checklist at the end of each of the years, but seeing as how there's a big tracker that explains everything on the side of the board, it's always easy to remember what to do next. I really liked the ability to invest in climate projects and things like that. So not only can you try to put your technology into developing ways to generate energy more efficiently, you can also try to repair some of the damage that you've done by your fracking and your other coal burning, oil burning activities. Every time I've played this game, I can really feel the time crunch. Like, it always comes down to the end of the calendar, and time is a bigger enemy than you might anticipate. When I first started playing this game, I thought the biggest problem would be, of course, the disasters, the hole in the ozone and things like that. But really, the thing that has led to my downfall the most consistently is just time. So when I play this game, I really need to focus on trying to build the city as quickly as possible and maybe not be so afraid of dilapidating some buildings sometimes. I could be totally wrong, but that's the small amount of strategy I picked up the few times I've played this game. I really like the chain reaction effect. I love how, okay, so burning coal increases the pollution, which increases the hole in the ozone layer, which raises the temperature, which melts the polar ice caps, which makes the water levels rise, which makes it much more likely for there to be a flood. That's really fun, and I think also kind of thoughtful, kind of thinking, I guess, about the butterfly effect or the impact of the individual on the larger scale. The general inefficiency in your power plant, I think, is a very cool mechanic because you really have to think before you send the energy out. Like, it doesn't really make sense to send out all of your terajoules of energy as soon as you have them. Generally, it's better to wait as long as you can. Something I think would have been kind of cool, though, is if there was a project or something that you could do to help reduce the inefficiency of your generator, especially later on when you lose 3 terajoules of energy every time you send out the energy. That's a huge hit and makes things extremely inefficient. So maybe it's impossible to balance the game that way, but I really wish that there was some way that I could compensate for this inefficiency. I think Terajoules is really just a lovely game. I like the way it looks. I love its vibrant colors and its simple iconography. I like how everything is kind of labeled from the beginning. So, for example, you see how many coal and how many oil you get at the beginning of the game. And the place where the tracker begin is marked for you on all of the trackers with little white dots. So it's pretty easy to get it set up straight out of the box. I find it enjoyable. It's got a little bit of a luck element because you never know what's going to be coming up in your hand every turn, but you can, of course, predict what you think might happen. So the luck isn't super high. It's definitely there, especially when it comes to the disasters. I think I should have probably had more disasters in my game, but I was just extremely lucky. My final verdict on Terajoules is that this is an excellent game. I highly suggest that you try it out. It's a bit of a heavy build, but I do think it's worth it. It's worth your printer ink and it's worth your time. I had fun with it. It's really great generating your own little power plant and coming up with all of the different methods for generating. I love how there's wind power, which is unpredictable but can sometimes really pay off. I love the solar energy idea, how it can be kind of slow but it charges up over time. The only thing that's a bit weird is the whole hydro level, because I think the hydropower is probably one of the most efficient things to do. And so in this respect, it can be actually a little bit beneficial to have the hole in the ozone layer increase a little bit so that the temperature increases, so that the water level rises. That doesn't really make sense in any kind of real-world context. Like, the more the polar ice caps melt does not really affect how much hydroelectric power we can have access to, but I think just in terms of gameplay mechanics it makes sense. But still it's a bit weird because the rest of the game feels like it's somehow really well rooted in logic. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you would subscribe, I would be so very grateful. I've promised that once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will make a video revealing all of my wonderful token and card print and play techniques. So if you want to find out how I make my beautiful games, well, subscribe. If you want to really help me out with what I do here, you could maybe check out my Patreon. I would be super grateful for that. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, so take care of yourself.